relaxed now that I
record.
took
I used
a
to have that
bath
record
on my feet.
My joint, it broke.
You took a bath in your feet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. You're great too.
You're great. Did
You're
you
great.
start it?
I started
God,
it. Yeah.
you're great.
I always like starting it just in the middle of our conversations.
Oh well, that's great.
That's great. You're great.
You know who's great?
Who's great?
Kortney.
Kortney, you're great.
Yes.
That works for us.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
This is a lot of eye contact, Kortney. Are you ready for that?
I don't do a lot of eye contact. I don't do the eye
don't do eye
contact.
contact?
thing. No,
That's why we
I
told
don't
you to
know why.
relax
I don't know.
first.
Yeah.
Not an eye contact person.
A lot of looking down,
It's
a lot of
okay.
harvest cheddar.
Yeah, a lot of looking to the side. You know.
Welcome to the Hug Life Podcast. I'm Monica Nevi.
And I'm Mike Coletta.
And this is our podcast. And you can we plug shows up top. I forgot to tell you that. So
Oh, okay, cool.
Forgot to tell you
yeah,
a bunch of stuff.
yeah, we did. But this podcast will drop this Wednesday, the 22nd. So
in a couple of days.
Yeah, in a couple of days. So
Well, are they supposed to think we're doing this live?
No.
No,
They're not done.
They know it's pre-recorded.
Wednesday,
when
the
we have time.
27th.
The 22nd. So
Oh.
2 days from now. So do you got any shows this
Oh
weekend?
shoot! I thought
have any
the
shows
22nd was next week when you said that.
No.
So this is the last week of July.
Second,
7, 8, 9?
second to last week of July.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
23rd, 24th,
August
25th.
1st is Saturday.
Yeah, August 1st is a week from Saturday.
A week from Saturday. Okay,
You got 2 weeks.
man.
Welcome to the calendar
Look at that,
podcast.
man.
This is good.
Look at that. Another
Yes,
month
Kortney
down.
Shane Williams.
Let's talk about Mondays for a second. You think about Mondays. I actually
Crazy.
don't have any shows this weekend because I'm going to a wedding.
Oh
You
yeah.
don't need
Yeah.
your
But
excuses.
hey, that's why I don't have any
No.
shows this weekend. Do you have any
Nice.
shows this
I
weekend,
will be
Monica?
at the Parlor Live in Bellevue
Nice.
with Nick Thune from Thursday to Saturday.
That's fun.
You know what? I can't really hear. Well, I can hear other people talking, but I don't know if I'm talking over people while they're talking.
You're not. You're
Oh.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. Nick
Yeah.
Thune, you said?
Yeah.
Who was he on?
What is he on?
Yeah, like Girl Code or something.
Honda Fit commercials.
The Honda Fit commercials.
Oh, is
yeah.
this a clean show?
No.
but
Oh, okay,
He's
okay.
he's a comic from Seattle. He's originally from Seattle.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
from Seattle?
He was
Yeah, Nick
on
Thune.
Burning Love. I don't know if you saw that web series or whatever it was.
No,
That's
it's
a good one. But yeah, he's from the Honda Fit commercials is what people know
Honda
him from.
Fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever seen it? Like, will it fit in this? Will it fit? Like, what'll fit in the car? It's
You
like
know what?
his ad campaign.
I seen. You know this? Man, I'm always talking about commercial. I don't even know what your show is. Don't let me hijack your show.
You do what you
whatever
want.
you want.
You do you know this comedian named Leo Flowers?
Leo Flowers.
I got to text him, man. I'm out of text messages till the 21st.
Wait, you don't have unlimited text messages?
No, I don't.
I
No,
thought
I
that was
don't, man.
something
I got this dope plan. Well,
Oh, but is it like
it's a great plan.
I thought everyone makes you get unlimited. Like you have to
I
pay
do.
unlimited
Is it
now.
cheap though?
You got to understand something, man. I've been with AT&T like since I was before I started college. I think I was with AT&T.
Really?
So like I got unlimited data. I got unlimited data, and I get 1,000 text messages, which I thought is a lot. Only time I run out of text messages is during the NBA playoffs. That's it. Other than that,
There you go.
I never go over. So I got unlimited data, and I got whatever rollover. Yeah, unlimited data is like that's just man.
See,
Yeah,
I don't.
it is.
My
They
mom,
don't do that anymore.
No,
It's
man.
Like a,
My mom was on unlimited data. She got grandfathered into AT&T,
Yep.
but then she kicked me off her plan, and so now I have minute amount of data,
Janky.
which is pretty lame because it runs out. It does, and I almost ran it out while playing a stupid phone game, which is the worst because then
Oh,
you feel
shit.
like
I didn't even think about
you feel
that.
like an idiot because you have to pay a bunch of money because you were going to play this
because
game.
you were playing a game.
I was addicted to this one game, and like they started sending me like messages. Even though I got unlimited data, I got up to like 5 gigs, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna make your service slower." If you know. I was like, "Yeah, whatever, dude. Keep
Whatever.
playing
I'm
this
killing
game.
this game right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, because that's what they do now with unlimited data. They don't you don't cut you off, but they threaten to make it so you goes way slower than
Yeah.
normal.
That's
I wouldn't even
weird.
know-
They
I
can
wouldn't
do
know
that?
That's what AT&T and Verizon both do.
You ever notice this? Because I know they can do something. You know, I used to have I had AT&T, and then after that, I switched to Sprint for 1 year because they had a phone I liked when I was like I think I was in high school. But anyways, I remember when I was like you had to cancel the Sprint plan like a month before. And then they were like, I was like, I'm canceling. They were like, okay. For the next month, I had the best coverage ever. That's the reason I canceled.
Oh,
'Cause
there
I
you
never,
go.
I mean, my coverage. So I know they can do stuff to make your phone go slower and go faster. Or whatever.
So that was
That's
their,
funny.
that was
Like,
their
are
way
you
of
sure
trying to
you
convince
wanna-
you to
Yeah.
stay. They're like, we're
Yeah.
going to give him the
No,
best
I mean,
need to
phone.
call and
it was
threaten.
impeccable. I guess times changed now, but I used to have to like keep it on the window right by the my bed, like in order for it to ring. Like Sprint was god awful, man. You know.
Monica's
I don't know
doing
what's
phone
happening.
stuff too right now. She's so
Sorry.
excited about phones. Don't forget to subscribe and rate and review on iTunes.
Yeah.
We kind of do the plugs while it's like we can go off on tangents. It doesn't matter. And then we're on Stitcher and we're on Racketeer Radio every Thursday at 7:00. And let's talk about Twitter because I'm at Me Coletta.
I'm at Monica Nevi.
And what's your Twitter?
At Kortney Shane, Kortney.
So you got your own name. That's pretty cool. A lot of people get their own name. I don't get my own name.
Oh, well, you had to do like Mitch.
I'm like
Mitch,
me.
I said
I'm like
Mitch.
Mitch.
People
I'm
do
Me
that all the
Coletta.
time.
Yeah.
Me Coletta. Oh,
Because my initials are ME, so I was like, oh, it works. But now it looks like an idiot. But whatever. It's all good.
Somebody had Mike Coletta.
Yeah, and the guy who has it never uses it. I gotta call Twitter. I gotta get a hold of that.
Twitter.
Call them. Can you call
They
people?
can delete somebody off the.
They can. If it's inactive, they can give you the name and they'll change his. I'm pretty sure. So I'll be like, hey, can that happen? But
Interesting.
Kortney, we're excited to have you on. I'm excited because I want to get the superhero origin story of Kortney for a little bit because we don't know anything. I don't know anything about you really.
You're a superhero.
I do
Did you
shows
know
with you. You're a superhero of comedy, but I don't know where you're from. Where were you born? Were you from? Are you from Seattle?
No. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and I grew up in Florida. Me and my family. When I was a kid, I was 10 years old, and my dad was in real estate. And in like 93, I think that is, real estate was great in Florida. And he owned an apartment complex. So he moved there, and then after that, the rest of our family moved there. And so from the age of 10 till I left when I was 22, I lived in Florida. That was it. So only people that live in Florida now is like, brother, sister, immediate family. Everybody else lives in Cleveland. It's like no one else came. That was just it.
So if you visit them for holidays, where did you go to, Florida or Cleveland?
Both. Like for instance, like a couple years ago, I go to Cleveland for Christmas, and then like a couple days after Christmas, I fly to Miami or Tampa.
Oh, so you like
for
really
New
go to
Year's,
both.
and then I come back.
Tampa's not. I like Tampa. My friend lives in Tampa. He works for their hockey team there. I really, but I feel bad about how much more I like Tampa than Miami. Because I don't know why. I just maybe I like old people because those seems to be all the old people in Tampa.
Its own thing going on.
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm not a big club. Yeah, he works for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He does marketing for them. But we're gonna get to sports later because you're a sports guy.
Yeah, I love sports.
I'm excited about that. So what made you move to Seattle?
Oh, okay. So fuck. I mean, shoot. I don't know this.
You can say whatever the fuck you want. Please swear. Our moms listen. Please swear.
I know, right? I thought I told this story before, but the definitive story. So I started comedy, and then I moved when I was like 22. I moved to New York, and I had a bunch of money saved. I had like $5,000 saved, a little bit over $5,000. I got there. Let's just say I spent all the money. It's a long story.
No, that's fine.
Let's just say he spent it.
Money's gone.
It's a long story. Money gone. But then at that point, I'm like, man, I can't really go back home because Tampa, you really need a car. And I was like, if I had a car still in Florida. Actually, I sold my car. I sold my car like 3 months after living in New York. So I was like, I could probably borrow a car, but then I would need gas. So, but you know what I mean? I didn't want to get a job. Because when I moved to New York, I was like, boom, just dedicate myself to comedy. I'm not getting no job. Like, this is, you know what I mean? I'm just going to, boom. So, money's gone. I'm like, so where can I go? Went back to Cleveland. And I stayed with my grandmother. And, no rent, no nothing. I did like a couple shows. But that was probably the biggest point in my career as a writer. Because it was a summer, and in cities like Cleveland and the Midwest in the summer, like some of the shows kind of dry up. So the only thing you have is the clubs. So what happened was I spent a lot of time like in the house, and next thing you know, I started really getting into music. They had the vinyl music collection that my dad still owned that he never moved to Florida. So I started listening to all these vinyl records. So like, I don't know, I just started getting influenced by the writing in these older records, and that's when I first started writing my set. Probably the guy that I attribute most to like my basic comedy knowledge, fundamentals is what I call them. The fundamentals of my comedy is this comedian Daryl Lennox. You might know him.
Yeah.
But this is a longer story. So I met Daryl I've been doing comedy for 2 weeks, and I met him. And because he had got kicked out of Canada, so he was living in Florida. I didn't even know this. So I used to see him every single week. So then we like developed a friendship. So I've known him. So like he always like just helped me on just like basic fundamentals. I didn't even know comedy had fundamentals, but comedy has like fundamentals. So anyways, he would always tell me, he was like, well, when you're on TV or you do a spot, they want to know what you have. You have to have it like written out. They want to see it. They want to know how long it, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, you need to write out your whole act. So now I'm in Cleveland. I'm like, perfect. So I wrote out my entire first half hour that like was good. You know, before that, you go up, you do your half hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But I wrote out the entire half hour. Boom.
Verbatim?
Every word, everything. I mean, it took me like 4 days. Wrote it out verbatim. And that was the first time like I kind of like became like a good writer to know like what's going on. So that was that. Stayed in Cleveland for a while. Then got a gig in Miami. With my sister. My sister lives in Miami, so I flew to Miami. Still didn't go back to my parents' house. Flew to Miami, did the show, and then Daryl was like, yo, I'm going to Seattle. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to Seattle. I was like, that's way too far, dude. It's absolutely
it is like as far as
no
you
way.
can
You
get
go.
from-
Minus
No
Alaska.
way. Like, because I remember when I was thinking about places moving, I thought about like New York, Chicago. Like Seattle was on the list, but it was like 5th out of 5. I'm like, no. But then I came out and I did some shows, and I was like, huh. And then I got paid for the shows. And
In Miami or in Seattle?
In Seattle, and
Oh.
I had any money. And then that was it. I mean, at that point, you know, I made money, and I was like, this is better than, you know, going back to Cleveland or whatever. And then that's kind of how I stayed. And then it just...
So when you came here, did you not even go back? You just stayed here when you came to the shows?
Well, when I came, I think I did. Because I think I came in like November or something like that. So I stayed from like then until like Christmas. Then I went back for Christmas, and then maybe I stayed till February or whatever, and then moved back.
So there was no like was there a great cross country journey in a car? Like
No, dude. No, I don't drive. I don't like driving more than 2 hours. No. I don't.
But you're a comedian.
No, hell no, man. Let me tell you something. I'll never
That was
forget.
hard.
I never forget when I figured out I don't want to drive. I was working with well, he doesn't live here anymore, but
He doesn't live anymore.
Mike
He's
Cummings.
dead.
Dude used to
yeah.
we just giggles a lot. So he had this triple gig, and Triple probably a nice guy. I don't know. I never fucking met him. I mean, I have no clue. Maybe he's probably a nice guy. I don't know. But all I know is his gigs were far. So when he told
Really
me,
far.
he's like, you know, we'll do
far
like
away from each other.
Montana and Idaho and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, oh, whatever, man. I'm like, whatever, dude. Just, you know, if it pays, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So then I remember the day before the gig, we're sitting and like we're talking, like we're kind of eating after the show. And he's like, yeah, man, you know, we might, you know, it was a huge argument. It was stupid, but it actually was valid. But he was like, you know, I might have to like get an oil change in like Montana. So we had to, you know, split the oil change. I'm like, I'm not getting you an oil change. What do I look like? He was like, oh, and then we got in a big argument. And then afterwards, I got home. I'm like, I need to figure out how long this trip is. And I was like, oh my God, dude. It was like crazy. Was it like 3,000 miles? I'm like, you gotta be. I didn't know how far. I'm like, that's the last time I ever did something like that. I'll never do something. Well, I never say never, but I would never. I never want to do something like that again. Dude, it's just too much. And I see some of the people that do a lot of those runs. They look awful, dude. They look
Physically,
just
like
hate
dude,
everything.
they're destroyed.
the road has worn them down.
You make like $1,000 a week. So what? Maybe
too.
You know.
Yeah.
Because those shows get canceled all the time.
Oh yeah, man. If they was canceled,
Throw that in there.
Because it was like $200 a show, and you usually do like 5 shows, you know, whatever. So you know, maybe you do two a month. It's a strategy, right? You do 2 a month, you pay your rent, but like, yo, it's not worth it. So at that point, when I came back, I was like, I still didn't have a job. And I remember like eventually I wanted to live in a better place. I lived in a really bad place. So then I just got like a part-time job. Because I was like, I'd rather get a part-time job than do triple runs.
I think that makes
You know,
sense.
Yeah, I've done one triple run before too, and I'm like, this might be my first and last triple run I've ever done.
Yeah, I mean,
It's very different than what it was.
I've only done the club.
yeah, if you
but-
want, I mean, I'm not knocking it. You know, if you want the money, you do. And some people love the road. Like I work with some comics, and they're like, man, I just love driving. And if you do, man, that's great, man. But I'm telling you, if I have a day job, I can pick and choose what gigs I want to do. But if you don't, I was doing anything. I'll do anything, man. That was it. But yeah, that's what happened. And that's how I got it.
Because of Tribble. You're in Seattle because of Tribble.
They changed to where it used to be. Like, when did you do the Tribble run? You remember?
This was when I first moved here, so it had to be about 25, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago.
That's when Tribbles were still, like, because I know the problem with them now is, well, they used to be, it was like you could do 6 gigs in a row in 6 days, and you'd make lots of money, and it was really good. But now, just the way comedy is
but even,
now,
I don't know, somebody asked me to do a Tribble run one time, and it was like fucking Montana and then like Pendleton, Oregon. I'm like, why are those next to each other? Like, how does that make sense? That's not a run.
I did Pendleton, Klamath Falls, and Gabriel Rutledge and I drove through a forest fire. Like that. That's just the way it works.
Like, we're not coming.
Yeah. And I've been here ever since.
Yeah. I mean, I lived in, basically, I've been back for like 2.5 years. I lived in New York for a year. Well, 2.5 years ago now.
So you lived in New York twice now, then?
Yeah, I lived there twice. So it was like the second time was, okay, let's see maybe if this thing will work, if I could, I don't know, get on TV or whatever. The main reason I moved back, though, is because I don't have any family here whatsoever. But there's only a certain number of places on the East Coast I could really live. And one of them was D.C., one was Boston, one was New York, and that was basically it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
They're all expensive, so I was like, let's try New York, see what happens. But it didn't really work. I was doing shows, I was doing whatever, but I wasn't making any money doing comedy. Like, that was an issue.
It is hard, like those big cities, because
so,
you don't get money for spots, really.
Well, and it's expensive as fuck to live there, so then it's like that. Balance math, man. It's
Seattle's getting there now, though, to be expensive as shit just to live here. It's getting kind of crazy. It's going to be like that everywhere, not to dissuade people from doing comedy. Like, we're just like, it's the worst.
And when I lived in New York, I had a day job. I had a day job, and I worked a lot more hours. I was working like 40 hours a week, like a real job.
Shit.
But, when everything was like perfect, like the rent was covered, everything was good. Mm-hmm. But, you go out a few nights, and now you're behind. Like, so when I came back, I had like $3,000 in debt. Which was big for me because I've never had debt before in my life. It's the first time I ever had debt. So then when I came back, I paid that off, and then I was like, that was that. That's good. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
There is something terrible about having things looming over your head. Like car payments, that's the worst. Having a car payment looming over your head.
Oh, yeah?
Right.
Yeah. So it's good you don't drive. You dodge the bullet.
Yeah, I don't drive.
Especially with so many cities now, you can get anywhere you need to. Especially in New York, I imagine. You don't even need a car.
I think it's more inconvenient to have a car in New York than it is to
park
not.
It.
What are you going to do with it?
Yeah. I mean, it's only good during the winter or late at night or earlier in the morning. I mean, that's the only time the subways really are affected.
Would you say you love New York? Would you move back there if you had?
No, hell no. I wouldn't have moved the last time. I
thought you liked it.
No, I hated that place. I hated that place from the first day I stepped in that place. I hated it. Only time I liked it is when I went to go visit one time. Then I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But from the first point I started living there, I hated this place. Hated it. I hate it. I don't understand the fascination with people wanting to live there. I've never gotten it. But something's different for everybody.
Yeah.
For me personally, I just don't get it, man. It's too many lifestyle sacrifices I have to make to live here, and it costs more for me just to make those lifestyle sacrifices. And one of my rules in life is like, you can take my money, but you can't take my dignity. So like, if I'm going to pay you, you're not going to tax me again. Like, I don't wait in line for the new iPhone, because if I'm going to pay you, like, shouldn't I be at the front of the line? Like, why do I have to wait? I have to wait to pay you.
Like, you're doing me a favor. I'm paying you.
You can take my money, can't take my dignity. And New York wants both. So that's it.
New York wants your money. If you learned one thing from this podcast, New York wants your money and your dignity.
They want both. Small things. I remember I moved there in January. The first time I moved there in January. And they were like, oh, yeah, man, will you go hand out flyers outside? I was like, oh, no. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. There's certain things that just won't do. I forget. Somebody said that, though. I think it might have been like Jerry Seinfeld or something like that. There should be a point, if you're a comic, that there's just certain places you won't go. There's just certain things I won't do for comedy. But
I mean, I feel that way. Like now, just even 5 years in this open mics, I just won't go to anymore. Like ones that are like,
or if you're gonna book me on a show, you should be paying me. That's pretty much like you have to get to some.
It's
standard.
so funny when people, you can tell it's bad when people get really surprised when you pay them for a show. Like that's like for a secret show. Sometimes people are like, "What? I get money?" I'm like, "Yeah, you did comedy. Congrats. Here you go. This is how it should work." In a perfect world. Do you like Seattle though? You like Seattle a lot? I mean,
not really. Not really.
Kortney, what do you like?
Not really, man. I mean, like, the only reason I live here is honestly because the comedy is good. That's the only reason. If the comedy was average, I wouldn't live here. It's just I don't really like it that much.
You mean the comedy? You mean the scene, the clubs, the shows, or you mean the people?
The people. You know, I don't.
Who
really
needs
care.
the people?
Yeah, the people. They're just not that big of a deal. I mean, there's a lot of nice,
stupid podcasts.
Yeah. There's a lot of nice people. You know, here. There's a lot of the people are fine. The people are interchangeable. But
you guys could be different people, and I wouldn't notice that.
I mean,
3 years from now, you're gonna be doing a podcast in this exact same house with a fat, hairy, bearded man and an athletic lady that does comedy.
That would be funny. It would be funny.
It would be funny.
So,
old Matt and Bianca should be their names.
Why am I Bianca? It doesn't matter.
It kind of sounds like Monica.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
You're okay. This is the big thing we want to talk about because we try to do a positive.
Oh, this is the big thing.
This is the big thing.
Yeah.
Like basically, so we got into you. Okay,
okay.
It's not you. You thought it was you.
You
but
were
it's
now a
not you.
superhero at the end of that story. I'm not sure how, but
do you feel like Spider-Man? But you're a big. We do a positive spin podcast, like part of the podcast where we take something, make it positive, talk about the positive light of it. Mm-hmm. And you're a sports guy. You're a big sports guy, right? Yes. And we want to talk about that because there's negatives about sports. Obviously,
is there?
I think
yeah,
so.
man. There's negatives.
Like for example, like the story about the Brazilian referee that got his head cut off at a soccer game because he called something wrong.
Okay, well, soccer is fucking on its own damn level.
Or like concussions in football.
Sure, injuries. Okay,
injuries.
I'll give you that. I guess.
I mean, what you can't think of any other negative things for sports?
It's a lot of negative things.
The money thing, money problems, or NCAA athletes and how they should or should not be paid. Whatever your opinions are on that, but they're being branded.
Yes, I think when you get to a certain level, there are other things. Money is a big thing. Sure.
At a lower level, fucking terrible little league dads. That's something that's bad.
Parents.
Bad parents.
I mean, that goes all the way up into forever, I would say. I would say NBA players' parents are still not fun to be around, I would assume. No.
But what are your sports? You like basketball. Is that your main sport, you think?
I love basketball. Basketball is definitely my favorite sport. I love basketball. I like baseball a lot. College football. That's about it.
Do you like the NFL at all?
If it didn't exist, it wouldn't bother me.
I love your indifference.
Maybe if my team was good, maybe I would be. But I mean, even college football is like really hard for me to watch. I mean, it's just hard to watch. And like high school football, I mean, it's like I can't even believe like.
Do you know that is televised now?
It.
High school football?
Well, no, I mean,
it's televised more on the regular now. Yeah.
I mean, my high school that I went to, they're very, very good. They're very good. Like national champions is good. They got like $1 million facility. Like they're a very good team.
Nuts.
I went to the high school in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
They're very good, very good. Like nationally ranked, and they play on TV, ESPN, whatever. But it's just tough for me to watch because, like, I mean, you could sustain some real injuries. I remember I seen in high school, but in the moment, it's like oh, football. But I remember I seen this dude get his jaw broken. Like this dude, he came underneath his helmet, and I mean, and he just. It's crazy. And then the next day is at school with his jaw wired shut because it was like on a Friday. So you come to school Monday.
Yeah.
And his name was Kanye West.
That's what really happened. It was just a high school football game.
Speaking of comics getting their jaws wired shut, please donate to Kane Holloway's.
Go for me.
Yeah, I heard about.
That's a sport thing. It was a baseball game.
Up, right?
Yeah, and that's.
Oh, it was at a baseball game.
It was they were playing softball.
Yeah, rec softball,
like comedy softball.
Oh, and then like there was an argument.
Well, that's the thing. Is he got in an argument with a guy, but that guy wasn't the one that hit him. It was some random dude that just clocked him from the side. Some crazy guy. Crazy dudes playing sports.
He hit him once?
Yeah, Yeah, but just once out, broken jaw.
One hit a quitter.
Yeah, and then he ran away. But they know who the guy is, which is good. And he's Kane's fine.
He'll be okay. He does have his
jaw wires on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I seen some on Facebook. I don't really comment on Facebook posts because if you comment, then
they expect you.
Then you're gonna see what everybody else is fucking commenting.
No, I read all the comments though.
Oh, I read all the comments.
I read all, yeah, man. And whenever there's like a good one,
a good argument, it gets up 500 comments or something. I'll go back.
I save that for later.
That's what's funny is
I screen cap it. I'm like,
I screen grab.
I just and I just scroll through them like that. But you know what? Honestly, and I mean, I book a show, and I mean, I don't have a lot of power, but obviously, if somebody asks me for a referral or whatever, I can help you out.
You book a great show, by the way.
But just off those screen caps, there's people I will never give.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, this
think about
this
that.
dude's a scumbag, man. I had no clue. And like, if this guy ever asked me for anything, I was like, I'll never help.
Yeah, people don't think about how much people just do that. Like, I read, and I might get bored at work, and if there's a Facebook fight, I'm like, oh, it's on. Like, we're back.
I don't even want to be involved, and I'll get messages from people that are like, do you see what's going on right now? And I'm like, no, I don't. But I will go and look later.
For the listener, she just pointed at me because I've definitely done that to her.
Well, Cameron does it too. Like, people do.
I'll be like, Monica, you got to check this thing out right now.
Or shit will be happening, and like my name will get mentioned somehow, and they'll be like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I had no." Like, I could just continue my life normally, knowing that someone on fucking Twitter.
Let's get real. If Facebook didn't exist, life wouldn't be that bad. It would be pretty great, actually. I think.
Good, man. Yeah. I mean, it would. I mean,
show wise, producing wise, it would be harder.
It'd be much harder. Yeah, I'd rather just take it. But
I'll just use it for its entertainment value.
Yeah, those little things is crazy. I mean, I'm on there usually, promote whatever, but yeah, I don't really comment,
Don't engage.
Do you like the comments that you enjoy, though? I do that sometimes. I
like the fights you're talking about?
Yeah, if like someone says, or not even a fight, but if someone makes a good point about something on Facebook, I'll like it. I'll give them a like. You're so indifferent. You're just like...
Maybe, but then what happens is like there's always snark, dude. I mean, no matter what the comment is.
Your name is going to get thrown in.
There's always some snark.
Like,
I mean, but sometimes, like on Twitter... I'll go on, I'll look at my feed, and then, I just do snarky posts on every single one and move on.
Twitter's different, I feel like.
Twitter is different. I mean, it's more instant, we move on. It's less like
personal.
Much less personal. You know what I mean? Because, Facebook, it shows up on your feed, all day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, Twitter
just goes
keeps moving.
Like, my mom and dad have Facebook. They do not have Twitter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You know who doesn't? My grandpa has Twitter.
Your grandpa has
just
Twitter?
so he follows some fucking, NPR shit, and then me, and that's it.
But you blocked him?
No. He's like, how do I tweet at these people? I'm like, oh, God. Here we go.
Here it
Just
comes.
getting in arguments with NPR.
Did you play sports?
Yeah, that was
I played basketball, but that was it.
Were you really good? Did you like it?
Truthfully, I say above average high school player, average to below average college player.
Did you play in college?
More below average.
Or did you?
So walk on. However, you don't get paid.
Right. You don't get a scholarship.
Never suited up for anything.
Oh, really?
Never suited up for anything because that was my freshman year. You did the little walk-on trials. I did that. And then the coach got fired, but the new coach came in and was like, yeah, man, we can use it. Funny enough, that year, everybody got injured. So, some of the dudes that, they were actually playing games. I was like, oh, it'd been cool to have a jersey. But that'd have been it because, I wasn't good enough. I remember I had a conversation with my dad because I could have went to community college and play because it's a lower level. I could have played.
Yeah.
But I remember I had a conversation with my dad because I got a scholarship to go to school for academics. And he was like, hey, man, look.
Smart guy.
So the point in time in your life when you need to know, if you think you can make it or not make it, and then that's when it hit me this is just, fun and games like this, real life. So then that's what happened. So then I just started going to college normally.
That sounds like a conversation I wish someone would have told me, when I went to college.
About what?
About just
improv?
There's more. There's a lot more afterward. I didn't think about that until 2 weeks before I left college.
Wow.
During my playing career when I got hurt, I did have those conversations because I thought about transferring, and my coaches were basically you should think about I could play at a lower level because of my injuries, or you could stay at a school where you have a degree that you want to get with a team that's still going to support you. You just won't play. And I was kind of okay, you're right. Because you're thinking about those other things. And so It worked out fine.
They don't have those kind of conversations in theater.
Oh, theater, like,
Yeah.
well, I guess it's like organic, so it's like you don't know if somebody's going to be good. Or I guess you know if someone stinks.
They don't tell you to take off your pantaloons and get ready for real life. They don't tell you that.
Do they say put on your pantaloons? Because I would have been out at that point.
So you wanted to be a comic your whole life?
I actually went to college wanting to be a stand-up comedian, and I joined the improv troupe there for 4 years because I wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
So for 4 years you did the...
I did improv for 4 years, helping it would like train me doing stand-up. And then when I left, I actually did. It's the only thing I actually have done that I actually followed through with.
That's good.
Now, is that good? I have no idea.
That's cool.
It's
man.
a long road. I feel like you never really know how long it's going to take you.
It's cool, man.
I could just be a burnout road guy in 20 years.
I mean,
talking about my dick.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You could, man.
Nothing different than how it is now.
Man.
I mean, that's crazy, man. That's cool, man. Yeah, I wish I'd have did like theater or something in high school.
I didn't do it.
Right, I didn't do any of that.
But I wasn't really into any of that.
Yeah, I was really trying to be a jock in high school, and I was not very good at it. So I kind of made up for that in college by going full artiste, if you will. Yeah.
Wow.
Full artiste, full pantaloon.
Nice. Full
Here you
pantaloons. But so you played sports, and then you loved Cleveland Cavaliers. Is that your team then?
Yes, Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland sports.
How do you feel about
team.
LeBron coming back? Are you happy about it?
Yeah, at first it was weird, but now I mean it's fantastic. When your team matters, there's no substitute in sports for your team being relevant. Zero. Even if your team doesn't win a championship, there's no substitute for having an appointment viewing. You know, if you're a Seahawks fan or whatever, if your team stinks, then it's basically like, every Sunday, like,
It feels
that
like
stinks.
Me watch them lose.
That stinks.
Dude, Aaron
Even
Kirby's
if your team
a
wins.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, so now you know.
Yeah, I mean, they yeah, man, I was crazy. I remember when he told me he was a Bucs fan. I'm like, that's crazy. Because I remember, when they won the Super Bowl, it was great. I mean, they're pretty relevant, in the city, but, the NFL is a different beast anyways. But, at first it was conflicting, but now it's great. I mean, it gives your team the best opportunity to win. And at the end of the day, that's all that, really matters.
Do you like college basketball too?
I like college basketball a lot.
Do you like it more than the NBA or less than the NBA?
Nah, NBA is a better game, so I like NBA better.
I feel like a lot of people would disagree with you. Like,
they're out of their minds.
People I talk to you say the college basketball is better because in the NBA it's all offense and they don't play defense. That classic argument.
Yeah.
But the NBA has the best players.
It's not even the best players, dude. It's like college basketball, they don't make shots. It has nothing to do with defense. If you're scoring 34 points a game, you don't make shots. I'm an Ohio State fan, and the Big Ten, is slow basketball, very slow basketball. So, and they're god awful. And if these players were so good, well, then why aren't they good in the NBA? The last Ohio State player really to be a good player in the NBA was, I guess Mike Conley's pretty good, but outside of that, I mean, the rest of them bums, they're not good. So. The college game is made for the coaches, and coaches like to dictate the action in the game. What coaches do is they try to slow the game down to make the decision for all the players. The shot clock is longer, so they have longer time to control. Then they call timeouts at the end of the game to extend the game so they have even more control over the game. What happens in the NBA is the game's much faster. The players get to make the decisions. Plus, there's players on the court that are legitimately better at their job than you are at your job.
Yeah.
No player in college ever is going to be better than Mike Krzyzewski or better than Jim Boeheim or better than, Jim Calhoun or Brad Steve or whoever it is. But if LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Carmelo and, Dwayne Wade are on the floor, they're better than Eric Spoelstra and David Blatt. And, maybe even some of those players are better at what they do than even Greg Popovich, somebody that's a great coach.
Yeah.
So the power structure in the NBA is players. The power structure in college is coaches. So people that like the college game, usually, if they don't live in the state of North Carolina, usually they like the idea that, coaching matters. And I don't necessarily believe that. But I like the college game.
But I think in college, if you were going to buy into a team, you have to buy into the coach because those players are going to be gone in 4 years.
Exactly.
But an NBA team, you can keep that. You can build a team around a player.
Exactly.
You're the first person to ever have a very compelling argument for that with me. All my friends hate the NBA.
It's dumb.
I know. I'm not saying I don't hate the NBA. I'm just surprised.
I'm just kidding.
You just blew my mind a little bit, Kortney.
I watch a lot. I watch a lot of games. I mean, it's like the NFL versus college football. What do you like more? A lot of people in smaller cities like college football because there's more college football teams. Your city has a chance. But the idea that Ray Lewis would be it's just ridiculous. It's preposterous. College basketball is good. I mean, they need to make the shot clock shorter. They need to make the game faster. You got to let the players decide the outcome of the games instead of the coaches like being the whatever. Like the game just isn't competitive at some point when you just dribble up. You know, there needs to be more scoring. No one is that damn good at defense. Like that's what made that clear. No one's that good. Like no one. And I mean, people say, you know, when the college game was better, the golden era, it was because the players stayed in school. But what happened is those players became better players, so they just naturally it's better to see better players. You know, so now they don't stay at school as much, so the game's not as good. I totally agree, but I don't think it's better than NBA. But you know, that's my perspective.
Do you like to go to NBA games? Like, you
I love
to
NBA
go to Cavs games?
Love it. Love NBA games. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I'll go to basically any NBA games. It could be bad teams. I'll go. Love it. I like games. I'll go to a high school game. I mean, I like basketball games. I go to a college game. It wouldn't matter. It could be a game at the park, and if it's intriguing, I'll watch. Like I love the game. I really love the game. So, I like basketball a lot.
Do you think? Okay, this is where it's gonna get tricky. But do you think comedy and sports have anything in common?
I do think they have something in common. I think well, like Monica with a sports background or somebody with a sports background, comedy is an art form, so you take what you do very personally because it comes from you. But if you come from a sports background, you're used to someone critiquing you, and over time you try to learn not how to take it personally. Even in sports, sometimes you still get so mad at the coach you want to fight. Yeah. But you're used to criticism. So if I watch you on stage or somebody watches you, I don't give anybody advice because, you know, whatever. Yeah. But if somebody watches you or a club owner watches you and be like, you know, that stunk. You know, that wasn't good. if you know, my dad would come to shows and he'd be like, I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? And you're like, you know, whatever. But like, it doesn't stick to me the same way it may stick to somebody else.
Yeah.
If I'm in a competition and it happens, you know, I feel like I will compete, you know, in that thing. Like, so when I started, you know, I wanted to be the best. There was no idea that I was going to be this artist and self-expression. That's not my goal. You know, yeah, I would like to express a bigger idea, but my idea was always to compete, to be the best. Another thing is the practice element of comedy. Sometimes I feel like it's overlooked, the element of not even necessarily when you go to open mics, but habits. There are things as such as bad habits. So if someone goes on stage, you do a lot of road shows, you tend to curse a lot because the audiences are unruly. So it makes you curse. So, but you're developing bad habits because eventually you're going to have to do something that actually means something and you can't curse.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a crutch. So good habits on stage is a thing. Small things like microphone technique. Work on your microphone technique. Try to hear yourself the way the audience will hear you. Habits. Something I learned from sports, though. I would never really thought about, you know, sports. But, you know, in sports, my dad used to always say, you practice how you want to play. Mm-hmm. So if I used to be in the front yard shooting, and, you know, you're goofing off, you're like, dude, if you're not going to do that in the game, why are you doing it here? You always practice like you want to play. So that's the way I think, you know, when I do comedy. So I do think it helps. I do. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good. But those habits help.
Do you do the same thing, Monica?
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is kind of being able to filter what people are telling you. Like, that was a constant battle that I had in basketball because your head coach is going to get fired up and yell some shit at you, and you got to be able to go, okay, I can take the good things from what she just said to me, but I need to forget about the other stuff because it's going to affect you mentally, and it's the same thing on stage. Like, if one show goes bad or somebody fucking says something to you afterwards, you got to be able to just, like, let it go, and fucking, you have to keep going. That's the other part, like, with basketball, and I haven't really figured out how to like focus this, but if you like didn't play well, like my parents would worry about me. If I didn't play well, then I would go home and shoot, like literally right after the game. Like it was that kind of thing. And so with comedy, like if I don't have a good show, I don't know. Like you can't just get mad and like do better. You know, like that. Yeah, exactly. Like in basketball, like if you get fired up, like you can use that. You know what I mean? Like you can use that. But with comedy, like if you get, I don't know why I'm getting fired up. Like if I didn't do a good job, how do I like use that? I'm not sure yet. But it's that thing where instead of going, oh poor me, my next thought is how do I fix it or how do I get better? Yeah. Instead of and that just comes from basketball. Like
it's also important to let yourself know if you've stunk. Like people sometimes are really bad at self-critique. You notice
or
that?
just being aware of what you need to work on.
Yeah, or they get off stage and they're like, that was great. And I'm like, was it great?
Was it
really? Like, was it?
No.
We can't all live in this rainbow and butterfly world, my friend.
So I'll be realistic.
Interesting.
It's funny though, yeah, because I mean, I guess the only way you could have that kind of attitude is if you lived in a city like New York, where you could go up and have a terrible set, but know you have possibly 4 more that night, and you can go work on more.
Maybe.
You know, because you can't really. Seattle's a fun town and it's a good town for comedy, but you can't necessarily double or triple up every single night.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
And get that quality. I mean, you could go to a room that has no one in it.
I was going to say, and there is even in sports, it was, training smarter instead of harder, where if you're just doing a bunch of shitty open mics versus like one good one or whatever, like that's the same thing. Instead of, if you're pushing yourself too much in sports, instead of taking care of all your, mental and physical and all that stuff. I think my mental attitude, honestly, is completely different because of sports. Like if I didn't do sports, I think I would like just deal with things completely differently.
Really?
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, it would probably, other people's opinion would probably matter more than they need to if I didn't. But I don't know if the same is for Monica. But it just I don't know. But maybe it's a bad thing. On the other hand, it might be a bad thing. Maybe my sense of probably other people being in the clique or the crew or whatever. If I didn't play sports, maybe probably I would want that sense of camaraderie a little bit more. But when I played at like high school, that was the best team I ever played on. Was my junior year of high school. It was the best team I ever played on. And 3 of the guys like were nominated for McDonald's All-American, which doesn't mean a lot. All that means is like you're good in your county, because they nominate a ton of people. Right. None of them are going to make it.
Do you get free chicken McNuggets?
No.
That's not even worth it.
But, that was my best team. But dude, a lot of people hated all the players on the team. Like, it wasn't a cohesive unit at all. So, like, you kind of have pockets. These 2 people hang out. These 2 people. These. So, like, that was the structure, I kind of came from. Is like, if I didn't need this acceptance thing. And maybe that would probably be different. If I didn't play sports, I would probably want some sort of acceptance.
Yeah, well, it's good to have friends, too, but comedy is a solo activity, you know?
Yep.
Right. Like, that's what some people forget. It's like, we're all best friends and togetherness, which is good, but to a certain extent. But I'm like, you're up there alone. Right. Like, this is your thing. You gotta plan it out. Sport that. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I just want to become a McDonald's All-American at comedy if possible, and I want free McNuggets.
There you go. That's good.
Nice.
So McDonald's, which is funny, the fast food corporation gives people scholarships.
Yeah.
It's like the Olympic sponsorship of McDonald's, where you see like Apollo Ono eating chicken McNuggets.
I love those commercials. They're like working out, and then they're like, "Oh, let me just have some chicken nuggets."
They just drink an extra large
what
Coke.
Are you doing?
It's ridiculous.
I'm so athletic. I would like some large fries. Well, I think we should do the quiz. I think we should.
Oh, are we?
Can we do the quiz?
Yes. Can you send it to me?
Oh, yeah. I didn't send it to you. So, Kortney, we take a stupid internet quiz every single show. Just like a fun thing to do. Like one of those stupid BuzzFeed quizzes, that's like, oh, what's your, like, how so-and-so are you? Or who are you in this thing?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
like something dumb like that. And so, for you, we chose to do which NBA legend are you?
Wow.
I feel like we try to pick a quiz.
That's a possible option.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
Could be.
All right, I mean, I want to know too if you agree with this or you don't agree with this.
Do you have a favorite?
If you agree with the answer that you get, because the way it works is I already took the quiz, and you're going to tell me your answers, and I'm going to fill it in for you, and then you're going to see what happens.
Okay.
So you don't know what's going to happen.
Do you have a favorite older player?
My favorite basketball player of all time, as crazy as it sounds, is Allen Houston.
Okay.
He used to play for the New York Knicks. Yeah. It was like, I just thought he was like the best shooter I've ever seen, dude. Allen Houston was like, that was my guy. Allen Houston.
You're a fan of shooters. I feel like people find a position, whether it's their position or not, but that you just kind of like. I mean, people who aren't like real basketball fans will be, whoever scores the most or whatever. But I was always fans of point guards. Like, I just liked point guards. I liked Steve Nash. I liked Mike Bibby was a big thing. Gary Payton is my favorite player of all time.
Wow.
I think that's why.
You grew up in Seattle?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
And so I like some people just pick positions, but yeah, Gary Payton is my favorite.
I was
player
a fan of the basketball player team that I had an NBA Jam Tournament edition for Sega Genesis as a kid.
Yeah.
So I was all about John Stockton and Karl Malone.
There you go, John Stockton.
Because those were the people that I always played as.
Nice.
I love how they didn't have Michael Jordan in that game because they're like, he's too good. We can't put it in the formula.
Yeah, the Bulls was like...
Yeah, those old games, they wouldn't put the players,
I think the Bulls, it was Patrick Ewing and Scottie Pippen were the two that you'd play as in NBA Jam.
Patrick Ewing didn't play for the Bulls.
He didn't play for the Bulls?
Knicks.
He played for the
No,
Knicks?
was
Well,
it
see,
like
that's
Bill
my bad.
Cartwright or some raggedy like
It
that?
was
Probably
someone
Robert
weird.
Parrish.
No, was it Dennis Rodman? Didn't he play for the Bulls?
Rodman did
It was
play for the
Rodman.
Bulls.
It was
Yeah.
Rodman Pippen, I think.
Which is such a random...
Yeah, but that's how they do it. They just pick the two most famous people from the team and throw
I
them.
mean,
Remember one time I
good
think
passer and a
like
good
Charles
rebounder.
Barkley wasn't in some video games? That was weird. Like,
Yeah.
It was Charles
Yeah.
Barkley.
But, okay,
Round,
the first,
round, or
I watched my character be Charles Barkley.
I'm excited
I
to do this. This is gonna be
disrespected
fun.
him on the podcast.
He's going to listen.
He
He's
is
a big
my
fan.
favorite NBA announcer, by the way.
He's
Charles
funny.
Barkley's great, man. Charles Barkley's great, man. I mean, me and my brother, this is like the argument we have the most, like who would be the best announcer. My brother hates Bill Simmons, but
He hates Bill Simmons?
hates his guts. He just hates his guts. Yeah. But yeah, we always had a debate who would be a great announcer. But yeah, Charles Barkley is good.
All right, well, the first question, Kortney, is you have to pick a pair of sneakers, which you can look at here if you want to come over and look at this.
Oh, okay.
You got to pick a pair of basketball sneakers. Can you
That
see
I
real-
like?
Yeah. And so there's these 9. There's
That
one
you
with
would
like
play
buckles.
in, I would
Yeah, I'll
assume.
take that one. I'll take the Barclays,
one?
the Nikes. Yeah, I'll take those.
All right. There's also Converse All Stars and then other
Who's
shoes I
playing
don't know.
in those? No
Yeah.
one. I'm
What
going to take those Jordans, the second one.
You take the
I can't
Jordans?
even.
I
what
think
number
I
is
took
that?
the top ones too. Okay. So now we got to do answer question ones.
Okay.
How do you
It's gonna be
react
Charles Barkley.
to fans? What's funny is this next question has a picture of Charles
Yeah,
Barkley.
just-
How do you react to fans taunting you? And there's multiple answers. Ignore them. I got ice in my veins. Laugh it off. One-up them with an earth-shattering dunk. Kanye shrug. Fans, what? Or they're just having fun and so am I. They'll get over it. You talk trash back at them or you give them the finger.
This is supposed to be when in the
What
game.
would you do? Yeah, if fans were or taunting you during the game and you're playing, what do you do?
I'm
Ignore them?
I'm gonna say something.
You're going to say something?
You would
yeah,
say
I'm gonna
something?
say something.
So
That's
talk trash
awesome.
back at them?
If they were, maybe, but not trash. But I'm definitely gonna say something.
Oh, well then laugh it off.
Yeah. You can do trash.
Trash, yeah, that's the other-
I'll probably try trash.
What did you pick?
Ignore them. I have ice in my veins. I was
picked-
like,
I just picked they're having fun and so am I.
people
'cause
were
I'm
always
so
very
numb.
concerned that I just never reacted to anything.
But I'll never forget. Like, no, go ahead. I just thought about a basketball game we had. But like, people used to talk. The summer league, like, people talk the most. In the summer league because
Do you
it's
people
such
talk
more-
trash to you?
Yeah, dude, like back and forth. Yeah.
Dude,
Players?
But you
talk
know
so much
everybody, so
trash.
it's weird. It's like, I mean, in high school. I mean, really. I mean, so you like know you play at the same parks. It's not like
Right.
this dude's my enemy, but maybe in the moment you might want to fight. But I'll never forget. I remember one time we lost on a game-winning shot. This guy for Jefferson High School. His name was Kevin Vincent. Hit this game winner, and like he just took off and ran up to the top of our stands like this, and then just sat there. And then the rest of the team ran up to the top, and they all sat at the top. We was like, "What the heck is going on?" It was the coolest thing I've ever saw. I was like, "That was great, man!" The celebration was like they just ran in. I'm like, "That's crazy."
That's good.
But
hilarious.
anyways, yeah.
That's
All right.
hilarious.
How are you preparing for tomorrow's game? A bottle of Patron.
No.
Are you sleeping? Are you playing poker? Are you doing yoga or meditating? I guess getting a haircut, shooting, like practicing, lifting weights, which seems stupid before a game, reading a book,
Some people
or
do.
cardio, running of some kind.
I'm probably doing the what was the one after sleeping? What was the one? Wasn't
Oh,
one?
Bev's playing poker.
I'd probably do the poker one.
You play poker?
Yeah,
I
probably.
picked
probably
reading a book.
probably
Big
just do
shooting.
You
Oh.
picked shooting, Monica?
yeah.
You big shooter? I think like weightlifting before is a terrible idea.
Some people do like light weights like right before, like 45
Really?
minutes before a game. Yeah.
I'm trying to think before
So,
the game.
warm-up thing.
What did I do before high school? Nothing. I think you do the whole. I'm envisioning myself
Yeah.
making every
Exactly.
making every shot.
Sometimes people take
I'm
a nap.
incredible.
All right, so you just got benched. How do you react? You throw a fit. You beg to get back in. You stare at your coach till he puts you back in the game. You cheer your teammates on. You help the coach with the game plan.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Go sit down. Hey, this is what I think we should do.
Slam chairs, patiently watch the game, or harass a referee.
I got benched.
Yeah, if you got benched.
It was a bad thing.
Yeah.
I guess it would all depend on like what the circumstance of the benching was, but I'm going to probably be upset. I mean, if they just took me out because I'm tired.
So you say throw a fit?
If you got benched.
Yeah,
bench, probably throw a fit before I start cheering.
I picked stare at my coach because that's what I would do in football when I got benched. I was really pissed off.
You would just stare at your coach.
I would just stare at him like, you're such a dick. He got fired, though. So
I would never yell at my coaches, but I'm going to pick harass a referee because if I'm fired up, like I still need to do something.
Talk shit?
Yeah, so I would
talking some shit?
Just yell at him.
Give or take, how tall are you? 5'3", 5'7", 6'1", 6'3", 6'6", 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", or 7'1".
Well,
and I'm guessing this isn't real. Like, just pick a height you would be.
Would be?
Or I guess. I don't know.
6. I guess it would be in between 6'3" and whatever the 5, whatever.
6'6".
My real height would be between 6'3" and the lower one, like 5, whatever.
Or 6'1" and 6'3". I picked 6'1", which is kind of my real height, but I don't know, like.
Yeah. Put that on for me.
6'1"? Watch, we just get the same person now because that's like the one.
It probably is.
Got 5'7".
5'7". You picked Muggsy Bogues? No, that wasn't.
That's 5'3". Come on.
He was also my favorite because of that movie Space Jam.
Avery Johnson.
How do you feel about being put in a video game? I don't really care. Just give me my legend. I'd be honored. That'd be pretty cool. Am I starring in it? My stats better be perfect. You hear me? Perfect. I don't really want limitations put on my character. Sure, I'll be dunking on everyone, though. Interesting. Do I get free copies? Or awesome, let's make 20 video games.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Pretty cool. So let's make 20 video games? Yeah. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. That's actually an answer. I said I'd be honored.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd love to be in a video game of any kind. What did you pick, Monica?
I suppose I'd be honored, but I don't really care.
All right, now you got to pick a car. This is another picture question.
Yep.
It's Magic Johnson just smiling.
Oops. So what car do you want? This isn't the last question, is it? Okay, good. There's a Ferrari, Dodge, or like a Charger. That's a.
I'll take.
I think I picked the red muscle car.
Yeah, a little too flashy for me. I'll take this one. Was this a basic one or something?
Yeah, I think that's like a.
I'll take that. Yeah,
that
What is it?
I don't know what it looks like. It looks like maybe a high-end BMW. I'm not sure.
I just think for basketball, I would need an SUV. That's what I always. Well, you got to put teammates in the back sometimes.
Yeah. You got to pick a career outside of basketball now. Like when you're done. Do you play baseball? That's the first one. Hollywood, chess, volleyball. What's that guy in the middle mean? What does that even mean? I don't even know. Who's that guy?
A sports announcer.
Oh, a sports announcer. There you go. Kim Jong-un, so you'd become a dictator. You'd be Bruce Lee. Play soccer, or you'd work at a GameStop.
Wow. Probably an announcer.
Announcer?
Yeah.
I picked. I think I picked the chess game. I don't know what that means, but I just picked that one. What did you pick, Monica?
I would pick an announcer too.
You pick an announcer?
Yeah.
All right. There's 10. This is the last question, Kortney. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. What do? Post up, dribble, skyhook, dropping a dime pass so my teammate can hit the game winner. Boom shakalaka in all caps. Nail a 3-pointer with my eyes closed. Crossover, step back, fade away as time expires. I'm taking it to the house, but getting blocked.
Oh, shit.
Whatever game plan the coach draws up. I know you don't agree with that one. Or I'm usually on the bench in clutch situations.
That's funny.
I picked a 3-pointer because that's what I love to do.
I do a step back.
Step back, fade away as time expires?
I don't like the whole eyes closed thing, but I am a 3-point shooter. So
okay, good. I'm excited about your answer right now.
Yeah, okay. I take it.
All right.
What would you go tell me?
I got Larry Bird.
That's what you got?
The one white guy on the thing.
I'll take Larry Bird.
No,
hell yeah.
It says you personify everything that's good in the world. Amazing form, wits, and toughness. They've never seen me play basketball. You're everyone's favorite leader because you're simply good at everything. Who did you get, Monica?
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson. Read your thing.
Yeah, you're a straight-up leader. Battle and adversity-tested, versatile, and hard-nosed. There is no center too tall and no point guard too quick enough to contain your merciless skills. You go down in history as the golden child of your group of friends. Yeah.
Dude,
that's a good one.
I'm going to tell you, you did not get Charles Barkley.
Oh,
Are you excited? You know who you got? Oh. You want to put a guess in? One guess in?
Guess. Well, if I said 6'3", in this car, I'm gonna say I get gotta be somebody famous. All right.
I like
Dr. J.
You got Dr. J? You're Michael Jordan. Yep, you did it. The greatest to ever step foot onto a basketball court. You've got the shoes, the movie, the worldwide following, the Bobcats, and the tongue that just yells at defenders with a childish grin.
The Bobcat.
Everyone wants to be you. You're the perfect competitor. You have a long description. You dunk, you shoot, you crossover, you play better defense than the tallest centers in the game. Your name will be spoken even when the earth disappears.
Wow.
And it's a picture of you dunking with your tongue out in classic Michael Jordan fashion. How do you feel about that?
That's a crazy quiz. I wonder what questions tip it off to make it do that.
I know, right? Sometimes people are really lazy, and it's like one question will do all the other answers. But this one was pretty good because all three of us got different ones.
Yeah, this is great. I liked it. Fuck.
Weird. That's random, and maybe it is one question because that was pretty random.
I mean, you don't think you're Michael Jordan?
I don't know. I just think it was random. I assume if you pick the question to dunk on somebody, your answer would be Michael Jordan, or maybe if you
because you picked the fadeaway.
If you pout on the bench, I don't know. I don't know what tipped it off.
Pout on the bench.
maybe talking trash. I don't know.
Didn't he talk a lot of trash? Wasn't that his thing?
Yeah, I mean, Larry Bird tossed a lot of trash. I mean,
everyone did, right?
Yeah.
Did you talk trash, Monica, when you were playing basketball?
I was a very, very quiet player.
Did you talk trash?
Only if
when provoked,
needed to. Practice, yeah, but see, those are different scenarios. Yeah, practice, yeah, man, practices. Those is that was even more fun than the game
because you're going against your teammates. You're
yeah, I mean, you're playing.
Oh man,
you're playing minutes after minutes. Games whatever 8-minute quarter, whatever the halves is. But when you're in practice, I mean, you're talking about hour and a half. And this is every day. Practice is yeah, and then after practice, you would leave, and then you would go to the park, or you go to the YMCA or whatever, and then you play some more against people that go to different schools.
See, that's something about me that I hated practice when I was in sports in high school, but I played football. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, dude.
Football practice is different. Well, because basketball practice, you still get to play. You're basically playing the same thing.
Football, no thanks, dude. I wouldn't.
Football practice was the worst because it's you're either running or you're waiting, and they're talking.
And then on the games, the rosters are so much larger. You almost know I'm not going to play.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and it's so I'm just here to practice. I quit.
That's what I did. That's pretty much
practice all these.
I remember there's one kid. I remember we all played football. Everybody played pickup football in the back or whatever.
That's fun.
And he played when we got to high school. He got on the football team. And I was like, "Oh, you're on the football team, man. How's it going?" His mom was driving us. He's like, he's on the hands team." I was like, and I didn't want to laugh, man. But I was like, "Oh, cool, man." I was like, so I didn't know what to say. I was frozen. I was like, "Oh, so do you ever get whatever?" They haven't kicked the onside kick all year. I was like, "Wow."
Damn.
Dude, his mom was like,
throwing him
he's on the hands team.
But his podcast is now called the Hands Team. So just know that.
His mom was a very good, a good soccer player. It was very good, man.
Oh,
good soccer player. But yeah, she was he's on the hands team. I was like, wow. Dude,
I always wonder about that, how parents that were really good athletes, how they feel about their children, especially moms now, because that wasn't a thing before. My parents couldn't, my mom couldn't really be a good athlete because it wasn't the thing they were allowed to do. But now you get these crazy professional women's athletes, that's your mom and she's just fucking fired up, why are you playing video games again? That's why I can't have kids.
At my high school there was a mom that was on the 80s show American Gladiator. She was a bodybuilder, and I don't remember which one she was though.
I wouldn't know her.
Gosh, but her son, you'd think okay, she's a bodybuilder, big, he'd play football or he'd play he was a cross country runner, but he was so good. He was such a good cross country guy. I think
that can either it's going to go the complete opposite of that, or they're going to be really good.
Yeah,
also.
he did cross country running, and I was just I would just get tired watching him run around. I think this is the worst.
I had a friend that was a great running back. He played at Wazoo, and his mom was like, she went to the University of Oregon, was a track runner, and she was the scariest woman I had ever been around because she was just still like in such good shape, and we'd be like, "Hey, can Luwan come and play with us?" And she'd be like, just huge.
That's
I'm like,
crazy, dude. That's crazy.
His dad played for the Seahawks at one point too, so they just like made a athlete.
Yeah. Let's make an athlete. Let's try him for charities, Monica.
Yeah.
You got one had it ready to go?
Well, yes. Sports Charities USA. It is supporting youth disabled in national team athletics. I looked for a different one, but it was very... So the first one I clicked on, where is it? National Alliance for Youth Sports. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like, I just want something that we fund youth sports. That's what I'm looking for today. And it's like, oh, when you have to call 911 and because the parents are fighting the referees. I was like, what? Why is that? Why is that a charity? That's so specific.
Little League does,
no, but this one seems to be a little bit more encompassing.
Sports Charities USA is what it's called?
Yep. Sports and outdoor recreation opportunities for disabled veterans, handicapped children, support youth sports training, and the U.S. Olympic team.
That's a great
one.
one.
A lot of stuff there.
It's a good one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the podcast, Kortney. We really appreciate it.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah, of course.
How'd y'all feel about getting in bumper shoot?
We're pumped.
Yeah.
We're pretty pumped about it.
Great.
Did you already do a podcast? I don't know.
Did we announce it?
We did announce it.
Oh, sorry.
But we did. No. We did. Yeah, no.
We did.
Well, I mean, you're on the list, so I mean, how could you,
everybody knows. No, we said something.
Knows.
We just didn't.
Yeah, we just haven't really talked about it.
Everyone knows.
Everyone.
Relax.
But
so many people listen to this podcast. Everyone knows.
30 people. That's a good number. That listen to this podcast. We're excited. We're trying to nail the surprise guests down right now,
Nice.
and it's going to be good. I mean, I'm excited to do it. I'm on Saturday too, which is going to be fun.
Have you done it before?
Nice. Yeah, I did it before, but it was fine. I was like, I submitted for like an entire show. It's like I don't want, but you can submit for like an entire show, or you can submit just as I don't want to be an individual. So I was like, either entire. That's the only thing I'm going to really get something out of it. If I can like control a show, I was like, other than that, I don't really want to.
Well, we should plug your show at Naked City, by the way, because that's like I had so much fun doing that.
Dude, it's dope. Show. It's getting better.
When is it?
I'm dedicated as long as people show up. When they stop showing up, because it's actually more work than what it's worth. Like I'm really not making any money, but what I hope, the goal of the show is to turn into like a showcase, like on a Sunday night, to the point that I wouldn't even have to really be there, but I could have, whatever comics in the city wanted to do the showcase. We put up like 4 or 5 people, have somebody close it out, and it'd be like more, not necessarily open mic, but just more of like a showcase type of show in the city. But
and it's
if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it does. Yeah. It's really.
And that show's at Naked City Brewery.
Yes.
And it's on the last Sunday of the month.
First Sunday of the month. Every month.
First Sunday of every month.
First Sunday every month.
And it's a great show. Check it out. I had a really good time doing that. It was fun. And there was people, and it was the 4th of July weekend, and it was still really good.
Yeah, man. Really I was shocked. I was shocked that show was as many people there. So yeah, we get a pretty good audience.
They came there for America. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, Kortney.
All right, cool.
And I'm going to go betray my money for my dignity. That's what I'm going to go do.
Nice. Enjoy.
All right. You guys are great. Bye.